So I don't want to start off informally, but I really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah,
there was really no need for you to do this other than the fact that I make you laugh.
Sure, yeah, and I'm bored too, so it's
Everyone's
like anything
bored.
that gives me something to do these days.
I'm glad to be your replacement for whatever you. So I know you just left the studio.
Yeah.
And I want to ask some questions. I don't know how much information I'm going to get out of you.
Sure.
A new project in works.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, it's still BRKN Love. It's just new music.
Which
I'm
excited for
oh,
sure.
It's gonna be sick.
Heavier.
For sure, yeah. Like, I mean, it's hard to define like heavy. Like we're not going heavier, I guess, in like a metal way, because I feel like when people think heavy, they think like metal.
Slayer.
Yeah, exactly.
Slayer,
I mean, that's
yeah.
like objectively heavy.
That's heavy as you get.
But like at the same time, like, dude, Beethoven could be pretty heavy sometimes.
Intense. I guess the word we're looking for, intense.
Exactly.
In a sense, yeah.
So like, I mean, I'm not comparing us to Beethoven or Slayer in that way.
You
at all.
wouldn't. That's not a bad thing to be compared to either or. They're very
Of course.
successful.
But yeah, it's definitely a little bit more dense. It's a little bigger sounding. We're on like technically like our second release now, so it's like naturally things have to be a little bit bigger this time around. It has to grow.
Like we were talking earlier, Royal Blood.
Yeah.
Like how they just had it, the two-piece. And each album, you see them progressing. Is that what we're expecting out of the next album? Like kind of like evolving into more sound, more different time of, not genre, but different instruments in the background, more production, right?
For sure. Yeah. It's just like I said, there's just more stuff going on. It's a little bit more of everything that like we did before. It's just we're turning it from like 7 up to like 11 now.
That's nothing.
But actually, we're turning up to 10, and then like maybe we'll go to 11 like on the next record.
You got to give me some room for growth.
Yeah, because
right?
once you hit 11, it's like that's the ceiling.
And on the walk here, we actually had a nice little conversation on our walk to this place, and we're talking about our artists.
Yeah.
And biggest influence, Queens of Stone Age, Sabbath.
Yep,
you can tell
Sabbath, yeah,
the
absolutely.
Black Sabbath shirt.
Love me some Sabbath.
So when I first heard you, I'll give you a little background of where I discovered you. I was at home in London. And I listened to local radio station FM96, and Shutdown came on.
Yeah.
And right away, I noticed, like, holy shit, man. Blast this shit.
That's awesome.
And it gave me a not Zeppelin, like more of a Sabbath vibe. But there is nothing like that right now. And for me, as a massive rock fan, it's very rare you hear something with a little bit of fucking balls. Man.
Yeah.
That like in the voice, man. Like,
oh, I appreciate that.
That's like you have like a Miles Kennedy like range where it's just like you don't hear that anymore. That it's going into rock. It usually goes into somewhere else.
Right.
So what brought you into that rock genre at a young age?
Well, I owe a lot of that to my uncle.
Oh, cool.
He unfortunately he passed away like 9 years ago. But when I was really young, he was a great guitar player, big music fan himself. Played in a lot of bands like the '90s, dude. Like he used to open for like Our Lady Peace and the Hip, back in the day. Because he was like, yeah, those were the days that I unfortunately missed out on.
Yeah.
But he was in that like '90s alternative rock scene in Toronto.
Yeah. Oh.
So coming up in that, and him just being a huge rocker himself. When I was young, he showed me like Kiss basically when I was 8 years old.
The best.
And it changed my life,
yeah.
Because especially being that young and seeing something like that, it's like a spectacle. It's like a rock and roll circus.
Yeah, it's a show.
Yeah. And being that young, it's like you're into that stuff. It's not 100% about the music when you're that age because it's like you don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like half of it is the visual because it just looks cool. And I was just so attracted to that. And also the fact that like I thought, he played guitar like a motherfucker. And to me, I was like, dude, that's the coolest thing ever. He had long hair and he looked like a rock star, You
kind of walked in those footsteps,
I guess,
seems,
except
right?
I wear glasses like a nerd, but it's okay.
Nerds run the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have to see, which is really important.
I don't think so.
Unfortunately, this pandemic fucked up my whole like contact situation because I usually wear contacts, but my contact person like has just been... You
can't get a contact of your contact
person? I can't get in contact with my contact person.
Miscontact squared in
exactly.
a sense? That's okay, though.
So I've been like stuck to the glasses for a while. But anyways, it's like once I kind of saw him play guitar and got into Kiss, I decided like right then and there, I was like, I really want to play guitar, but it took a while to convince my parents. I was about like 9 or 10 when I really decided that's what I wanted to do.
Early.
And I was already singing, naturally. I was just always a singer, I guess, when I was young. And I would sing along to the radio and all that kind of stuff. And I found myself getting into like musical theater, which I know is not super cool.
Hey, man, if it got you that voice, I'd sign up too.
Well, thanks. Because at school, you know, when you're that young, it's like they do the plays and shit, and like at our elementary school, they used to bring in this dude who was like actually a play guy. Like he wasn't like some school fucking drama guy. He was like some dude from outside,
professional.
Yeah, who like
outsourced.
wrote these things and like did his own productions of these like, you know, like the classic plays,
full
like,
on productions.
Yeah, and like Peter Pan, Grease, like you name it.
Oh,
you
so
know,
he's a talent.
yeah, and he's like a virtuoso, like composer and all that stuff.
The freak of nature.
So I would just start auditioning for them because I really wanted to perform in front of people, and I just didn't know how to do it. So that was like an opportunity to do it. And coincidentally, I would just keep getting the lead roles.
Oh, every time, yeah.
You know,
it's like what's that movie? What's 21 Jump Street when he gets the lead Peter Pan role somehow? Doesn't know how he gets it.
No clue.
He keeps getting the main role.
Dude, I watched that movie the other day. I don't want to go on a tangent on that because that's a great film.
It is a really underrated film, man.
But I digress.
Fair.
Anyways, like the musical theater thing actually was kind of what got me into singing. You know, because I realized at that point that I had a voice. Because at that point it's kind of like competitive. You know, there's all these other kids that are trying to sing and get all these roles, and you know, it's like there's tons of songs that are to be sung in these.
Did you get competitive yourself? Sorry to interrupt you.
And what do you mean?
Like, were you the competitive kid that had to win?
No, not at all. I've never been that way.
Ended up being that way.
Well, I guess when you're young, there's always that little like, you know, my dad could beat up your dad, like kind of vibe,
yeah.
You know. So you have a little bit of that like that ferocity at like a young age, just naturally being a kid. Like you don't know what it is, but you're just always trying to be number one.
Alpha.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And maybe I'm just a fucking alpha. You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that.
But it kind of, it was friendly competition, I guess. But I guess it didn't get competitive until I saw that I can get the lead roles. And then like the next play, I would be like, okay, well I gotta get the lead role. And the next one, I'd be like, I have to get the lead role. And then
streak.
One play, I remember doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I got Grandpa Joe instead of like fucking.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
and he's an asshole
the whole time exactly.
And didn't do anything.
Like what a piece of shit.
Oh, you got a ticket for me. Fuck this shit. I'm out. He jumps in. That's bullshit. I don't want to get on that. That's a whole another fucking rabbit hole.
Totally. Well, I was him, so I was once that asshole.
Okay.
But I got mad. I was like, dude, I'm not fucking Willy Wonka, you know, and like that was that kind of stirred me up.
You don't want to be Charlie?
You know, no, dude, because Charlie like doesn't sing a lot.
He's a wiener,
you know, and he's a wiener.
He's a wiener.
He's a kid. I want to be like a man.
Yeah, you know, Willy Wonka, the crazy ass who does all the fucking all the like midgets walking around.
Dude, he puts
little people. I apologize for little people.
Yeah, I can't be associated with that.
Yeah, no, we'll cut that out for the little people. But that's again, Kiss. Broken Love is named after bands.
Yeah.
I didn't ask. I couldn't research. I want to know from your mouth. Which bands exactly are them?
Well,
like the numbers or the letters, not numbers. I'm slow.
It's okay.
Thanks, man.
We respect you,
Thanks,
anyways.
Man.
I've kind of said it a couple times now, and like so I don't mind like telling everybody now. At first, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like mysterious and
secret.
Shit. You know, but is anything really mysterious anymore? Everything's on the internet, so it's like if you could find out, everybody else can.
I didn't want it. I wanted to hear from you.
Well, it's from when I had to come up with a name, because when I actually recorded the album, I didn't have a name, so I was just like, whatever, Justin or whatever the fuck, you know. And I sat down and wrote out like a bunch of albums and song titles, and just like kind of played like, I don't know what you would call it, but like I drew lines, like I took the first word of this and then put it, matched it with the back half of this song, and
you know, the devil.
Well, it's funny. The other day when we were recording these heavy ass guitars, I looked at my producer and he looked at me and he was like, "Dude, I think we're gonna summon something."
That's a good sign,
because it was really
That's
fucking heavy.
That's a good sign. It's dark.
But basically, I grabbed the front half of. I guess it wasn't even the front half. The EP is called "Broken" by 9 Inch Nails. You have the Broken EP, and he spells it kind of interesting.
Weird,
it's like BROKN or something, or
I think that's it.
Something like that. Like he does a quirky spelling.
Yeah.
And then I grabbed
genius,
exactly. I have
genius.
a poster of him on my wall. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And I grabbed the back half of Interstate Love Song.
Great song,
STP,
man.
Which is also a fantastic song.
Yeah,
so I was like, first I was like Broken State. I was like, what the fuck, And then Broken like Interstate. I was like, that's fucking weird.
That's weird.
And then it was like Broken Love,
Perfect.
And I thought about that. I was like, it's kind of like stupidly obvious, because
hasn't been done before.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck has that never been a name for anything?
I thought so too. And I'm like, that sounds familiar.
Because it's kind of dumb. It's like Broken Love. It's like it's totally working.
It's working,
man. And we've definitely caught shit for like doing the abbreviation for like Broken. Like, why the fuck would you do it like that? You know.
By the way, have you tried to listen to your own band on fucking Alexa?
Oh yeah, hey, they can't find us,
bitch. So Alexa, play Broken Love, playing songs by Steve. And they're like, no, stop. Alexa, play BRKN Love.
Yeah,
on
or
Spotify,
Birkin.
playing songs by Broken Love. I'm like, bitch, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm. It
Yeah, my
makes no
friends
sense.
tell me that. My grandfather's really old, and he like tries to do it, and he's like super Moroccan, so his accent's really thick.
Moroccan, I like
you
the
know,
sound of that.
and yeah, I'm Moroccan.
I thought you were Italian.
You know, a lot of people do.
Sorry,
a lot of people
man,
do.
I'm not
There's
trying
no
to judge
apologies,
anybody.
man. It's all good. Everybody thinks I'm Italian.
Yeah, they were like, or like Maltese or something different.
I get
right?
like Greek. I get
Greek
Italian. I get I've gotten like Lebanese. I've gotten Armenian a lot. Like I used to live in California in LA.
Did you really?
And, yeah.
I want to ask you about that too.
For sure.
Actually, yeah.
Well, I'm open to that because I lived there for a couple of years. And just long story short, a lot of people thought I was Armenian because there's a lot of Armenian people
culture
out there.
yeah,
so they would come and speak the language. I don't know what the name of the language is, so I don't want to botch it. But
I think
like,
it's Armenian.
Is it just Armenian?
I would think
you never
is.
know because people think Chinese people speak Chinese,
Mandarin,
but there's no such thing as Chinese.
I know.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't want to be that guy that fucks it up.
Nice knowledge drop. I like that.
Yeah,
that was good,
dude. I know things. Too,
I'm trying my best too, man. I'm on this whole level. I'm having a panic attack this whole talk. So.
Well, why?
I'm just kidding.
Don't freak out.
I know. I'm just holding on for dear life.
I'm just a fucking dude, man. It's okay. You know.
California. So you left home at 15, technically, like you.
Yeah, I was I think about 16. It's hard to really. I can't really tell you exactly when it was. 15, 16.
How does that conversation go when you're saying? Like, was it like I'm doing this, or was it like, is it okay if I do this?
It was actually really easy. I mean, I've been doing this since I was like 12. I basically, well, by the time I was 12 years old, I landed a production deal with
12.
like with like a more R&B pop kind of company because that was what the kind of music I was making at that
singing
age.
at that time.
You know, well, I was 12 years old, dude. It's like although I knew I wanted to be a rocker, it's like who the fuck's gonna listen to a 12-year-old rock guy?
Yeah,
you know, and my
like
balls haven't
rock.
even dropped and shit. It's like, and what the fuck do I know? Like, what I can't write about anything.
Nothing.
You know,
what kind of experience could you have about you write about Nintendo?
Exactly, and like
which
maybe
is cool.
I'm sitting in math class and I'm like, I hate school. Like, you know, what the fuck am I gonna write about?
Long division.
You know, yeah, exactly.
This song sucks.
Exactly. So it didn't make sense, and because I'd already had that kind of like my foot in the door when I was that age, and I'd done it when I was like 12. You know, I moved to New York when I was 12 years old.
That's crazy.
I had a manager at the time, and
so you had a manager right away. You were already in the scene.
But I mean, I've had different people that I've worked with through the years. But like, I got lucky in Toronto. Like, my dad had lent his cars to this. There was this boy band. I'm sure you've heard of them called B44.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Funny story.
Do you know those guys?
My best friend, when he went on a cruise ship, he came back with crazy hair, and we were calling it B444 for
yeah, the frosted tips.
Get down on me, I'll get down on you.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that.
Totally.
Oh yeah, Much Music, man.
Yeah.
That's all we had. Like,
they were a big deal.
If you get down on me, yeah, I know that. That was good stuff, man.
So my dad lent them like a car for like a video or something like that, and they're also like one of them lives in my.
What kind of car? What kind of car?
It was a Ferrari.
Oh, I had to know.
Yeah, I was pretty sick.
That is cool.
I was really young though at the time, and I didn't know, of course, what was going on.
How cool Ferrari is at that time.
Right, of course. Well, I mean, of course I know what a fucking cool. I meant like the boy band.
But you didn't think of the money of how.
Well, I didn't know what it cost at the time.
Good?
You know, I still have no. You know, there's no way I'm ever gonna be able to buy. Well, maybe fuck that. I'm gonna be able to buy some Ferraris one day. Okay, let's get
exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
You better.
Totally.
You fucking better get money.
I mean, that's not what I'm striving for, but it would be nice.
The option to do so.
Totally.
We lost track.
Yeah.
This interview's gone off the rails for me.
That's generally how I work
that's
too.
Okay,
it's very
good. I like
stream of consciousness, like, you know.
I have no attention for anything.
Yeah,
but we're talking
feel
about you're asking your parents to go to a different country at a young age.
Basically, around that time, I had met a dude who ended up mentoring me, who was like, and still is, a very big songwriter in like the pop and like country world. Interesting enough, and he saw a lot of potential in me, and we just kind of struck this vibe. Like we just ended up working really well together and writing a lot of songs together immediately. And you know, my parents were already down for the music thing because like I'd done it when I was 12, and I lived in New York for like 6 or 7 months, and you know, this production company was trying to get me a record deal, so I was already dealing with like labels and all this kind of stuff. And
but you were in the scene early, yeah,
pretty much. Man. And 12 years old is like, now looking back, at the time I was like a hotshot. I'm like, I know fucking everything about everything, you know. And looking back, I was like, I have little sisters, and like my youngest sister's 16. She might be 17. She might kill me when she sees this.
17,
you know,
17,
but she is a child to me.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that I was 12 doing that, it's like I couldn't imagine having a 12-year-old kid walk into like Republic Records and be like, I'm going to take this kid seriously.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, you have cookies to sell me?
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, are you going to piss your pants? Like, what? Whatever.
So where did you go? Did you go right to New York? You went to
I came to New York first, actually.
Okay.
So, like, we basically convinced my mentor, Shane, had convinced my parents that, like, that was the time. Like, if you want this to happen,
engrave it.
If I wanted this to happen, it's like, you're young, you only get this shot once,
yeah.
you know? Because once you get past 32, it's like I feel like it's not as cool anymore to be, you know. There's like this. I'm sorry.
I'm shooting the back at this point, man. I get it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, with music too, it's like a lot of people want their artists to be young, and when they're emerging and they're young, they have all this time to grow and build and develop a big fan base. It's
Profit
like exactly.
You
It's like building a business.
Cow, right?
You want to start small, basically, and
groove
live
them
through
into
it.
there so they know the industry, and then they're done. We'll see you later.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, use them up until they give you all you need, and then fucking toss them out the window.
Now you're beef.
But yeah, it was like he convinced my parents, and obviously I wanted it really bad, and I dropped out of high school. I didn't go. I finished 12th grade.
Yeah.
So I finished grade 11.
Yeah.
I just said 12th grade like an American, by the way.
Grade 12.
Yeah. They don't like when I say that.
That's California. that was they took a little bit of your language.
Well, now we're in Canada, so I'll say I finished grade 11.
There you go.
But I did not end up attending anything in grade 12. And I was so confident too in grade 11 that I wasn't going to do grade 12. I was like, I never picked my courses for the next year.
You were
all my
there.
friends were like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "No, man, I'm telling you, like shit's going to happen." You know?
Cool.
Because I was young and ambitious. I'm still ambitious, but I was a lot more cocky, I would say, at that age.
You learn quick what you can and cannot do at that age. When it's funny how at that age when you're discovering yourself, you make decisions are brash and then the world comes crashing down on you, and you either continue or you stop.
Well, you think you know everything when you're 16 years old.
I still think I do. Fuck.
I mean, I'm 23 now, and I thought, by the time I was 20, I would figure it out. I'd be like, oh, that's what I'm an adult. I would figure out how to fucking do my taxes. I'm 23, dude. I don't fucking know shit.
35, I'm still panicking. I still have breakfast for dinner sometimes.
But aren't we all just a bunch of babies running around, until we die?
Listen to the music.
Yeah,
man.
listening to music. But sorry to keep going off.
I like it, man. This is what it is. This vibe works for my brain.
Yeah, me too.
I'm good. I'm
always bouncing around like that as well.
I'm okay with it, man.
But basically, long story short, I moved to New York. We kind of chilled there for a bit. It didn't really work out, mostly because you can't make noise in that city. It's like you're in an apartment, and I'm a singer. And I sing loud.
Yes,
so if I'm singing in a little apartment, dudes are just knocking on the door a couple times a week. You got to shut up, man. And I get it. It's like,
fuck you.
The walls. Also, fuck you. But at the same time, it's like the walls are paper thin.
I'm sorry, fuck you, but I'm sorry.
And I was also smoking way too much weed, so it would just stink up the fucking the hallway.
To the classic artists, they're like, fuck this guy. There's two of them down the hallway. There's one guy here.
Exactly. So that was me, and we eventually went to California because. The cool thing about having this dude mentor me is that he already knew everybody. He was in the industry. He had #1 hits in country though, which is really interesting to see where my band is now and how I started off.
Yeah, but you know what? I was going to ask you too. Some of the best songwriters come from different genres.
Yeah.
Some of the best. I'm a huge fan of songwriting in general. One of my favorite songwriters of all time is Jim Croce.
Yeah. I don't know that guy. I'm sorry.
Ferris. No, he's dead. He sang Bad by Leroy Brown. It's from the 60s. He's dead. Anyway.
Yeah.
But songwriting is a very unique art. You write very good songs.
Thank you.
Who was your inspiration for the songwriting aspect? Because it doesn't just come out of nowhere.
Well, I was young. It was when I first started playing guitar too, I was naturally just I could write songs. You know what I mean? But then once I actually, learned about the craft and all that kind of stuff. The big dudes for me when I was young were John Lennon, Chris Cornell, Kurt Cobain, Lane Staley. Well, and more Jerry Cantrell and Lane Staley, should I say? Because Jerry kind of wrote most of that stuff.
Side note, I need you to cover Man in the Box.
I would love to.
At some point, man.
It's so funny. That's my karaoke song.
That's my favorite song of all time.
Super wasted. We've actually strayed. The reason when we covered the Bishop Briggs tune, the reason we didn't cover...
Perfect segue for me.
Great. I'm glad to help you out.
Yeah.
The reason we didn't cover a conventional rock song is because, any rock band can cover another rock song. Mm-hmm. And I was worried about the sacrilegious kind of people that are, and me too, being why the fuck would these people like take on a Soundgarden song. That's legendary. It's like, why would you even attempt to do something like that?
Discredit it. You know, and you wouldn't be, but people have that attitude.
Totally, and I feel like you're just undoubtedly going to piss some people off.
Yep.
And I couldn't handle it if like Soundgarden fans didn't like me because I'm such a huge Soundgarden fan.
That would hurt. That would hurt.
And it's like, I think it's just cooler to take something that's not a rock song and just make it your own, you know? Because then there's people who are like rock fans who don't know that song.
Yeah.
So they think it's your song. And then there's the fans of the actual song that now discover you.
So I'm going to be completely honest. When I heard that, I'm like, this is fucking incredible. And then I heard her version.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's a great version. It's not my style.
Right.
I personally think you guys took that song and took it to the next level.
Thank you.
Now, I got fucked up one night, and I sent you a song I wanted you to cover. I forget what it was.
I think you did, but I don't remember what it was. It was something like kind of random.
It was so random because I always have these songs. I wish like I had a band that worked for me that I'd be like, I want you to cover this song and do it this way, or cover this song and do it this way.
Yeah.
It was Harley Quinn. I Did It for Love.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think someone took a version of that and made it hard to be really good.
Right.
So why did you cover that song? Why River?
Well, it's funny. When I was in California, actually at the time, for a couple, I guess, like rehearsals or shows, we had musical directors at the time who are basically like dudes that come in and like work with you on the parts and the show and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're like outside of the band, or though sometimes a musical director might be like your drummer or something. They kind of just like, they're the director of the music.
That's what happens.
That's what it means,
you
know? And this dude that was MDing us for a bit actually was Bishop Briggs' drummer.
Oh, cool.
And probably still is. I'm not really sure.
Hopefully.
No. Now he actually plays in Bush, which is
Gavin.
really cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Gavin's a badass.
So
and Chris
good.
Traynor is a good friend of mine also.
Oh, cool.
He's a guitar player, yeah. We wrote Shot Down together, actually.
Just did a fucking good job, man.
Yeah. He's a badass, too, and I love him. But anyways, this dude was in Bishop Briggs' band. I don't know if he still is, but he was talking about her a lot. And then all of a sudden, K-Rock was blasting that song, and I was there, and I was listening to K-Rock like all the time, and I kept hearing it, and I was like, dude, this is fucking bluesy as shit. Like, her delivery is like a blues soul singer.
Huge.
In this, like, kind of whatever, like...
Slow down blues, yeah.
It was sort of like a blues singer in, like, an AWOL Nation kind of tune, you know? And I kind of saw this...
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's fair.
Sort of like if Sail... It's like Sail with this blues kind of thing.
Legend, but like I know you mean like a very soulful,
kind of
very soulful, yeah.
It kind of almost sounded like something I would hear like Jeff Buckley sing, or like even like I feel like Robert Plant could have sang something like that, you know. So I was like, immediately I'm like, this could be a fucking rock song, you know. But I obviously put it in my back pocket. I never like thought about recovering it ever.
So what was the steps? What triggered the like? Let's do this.
This is actually quite a funny story. So for a while, when me and my friends would just get absolutely sloshed,
as you should.
A couple of my buddies would just be like, "Yo, can you sing that River song?" You know, and I would just sing it when I was really drunk.
Yeah.
Because I love singing the chorus. And it's a banging chorus.
It's good, man.
And it's quite a tough song to sing. So I don't know if we're ever going to perform that live, but we'll see.
Yes, you will.
We'll see.
I'll have a sign.
We'll see. In 2 years from now, when we play our first fucking show back, we'll see. You know,
when I'm 75 fucking years old.
But when we did this deluxe edition of our record last, I guess it was in was it in like November? I don't really remember when it was.
I think it was October.
So around then.
I think it was October.
But I recorded it in like August.
Yeah.
Before that, we were like, okay, let's pick some songs. Okay, I had a couple songs, and they're like, well, let's try doing a cover just to like, because when a band like us, like a small band, does a cover, you're doing it to get more exposure, basically. So they kept asking questions, and the label's like, well, what would you do? And there were some suggestions here and there, and I was day drinking in July. It was a beautiful day.
Good for you.
And I was out in the back. Yeah, great, right?
Good for you.
I was getting just nice and toasty on like an afternoon. I don't know what day of the week. And I went upstairs to my room. So it's always a Tuesday, right?
Tuesdays coming.
I don't know why it's always a Tuesday. I got sloshed on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I went upstairs to my room, and I thought like, fuck, I gotta do this cover. Like the label's like, putting pressure on me. Fuck, I gotta do this. And I just like start opening up a session, on my interface or my the software or whatever. Yeah. I would use Logic. Pro Tools guys are gonna hate me. And I just started doing River. I was like, this is stuck in my head. I'm just gonna do it. I made this like super drunk demo, that sounded like shit. and I sent it to the label.
You just fucking...
I just fucking sent it.
Well, we'll fucking click.
And then I just, whatever, did the thing the rest of the day, and I woke up the next day.
Like a drunk text.
You know, basically like a drunk text.
You drunk text the song to your fucking boss.
Basically. I was like, here you go. Yeah. Don't drop me.
Please,
and
the
next day, my A&R hits me up. He's like, dude, this is fucking killer. You know, my manager hits me. She's like, this is fucking killer. And then they sent it around to the whole label, and they were like, this is awesome. It sounds like it was recorded in my grandmother's basement, but it sounds awesome.
But it's good. But you hit it, yeah.
And so I was like, oh, shit, I guess this was a good idea. You know, thanks, drunk Justin. And
we're going to make a name for him.
You should do Justine, actually.
You should get drunk and then just do the drunk album of covers.
Yeah, could you imagine, like fucking Rick and Morty style?
I don't want to imagine. Let's just do it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is like, I can't play guitar when I'm drunk.
Really?
That's the problem. You know, I could sing, which is kind of, for some people, they usually lose their
voice is gone when I'm drinking. Never like I had one, but...
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Okay.
But I could sing when I'm drunk and I can remember the lyrics and stuff. But for me, it's the guitar. My hands just won't
work. Yeah.
You know, they're just slow and just like I'm missing shit and my coordination is totally fucked. So maybe I could do the vocals like that. But,
perfect.
You know, maybe Kyle plays the guitar for the whole show and I just get fucking sloshed on stage.
You should.
I'm not promoting this lifestyle at all.
You kind of are.
I mean,
you're a rock star. That's what you do.
Rock star that's far fetched. I don't know if I'm a rock star.
If I call you a rock star, you're a rock star.
I guess you speak it into existence, but we'll see about that soon. But yeah, anyways, the cover went well. I got drunk. Cover was chosen by drunk me, and it ended up being almost our biggest song now. It's kind of ridiculous, because it's such a popular song in its own right, just in the pop and alternative world. Dude, it kills for us on streams and all that kind of stuff. And TikTok is like the new thing, which is, but people use it on TikTok and shit, and they do their little stupid dances.
And then they have 40 people stealing another thing, and they're going to steal your limelight from it. But that's how it works.
But it's whatever. They hear my song, and I guess that's enough.
But I guess this is what I did now, because I'm stealing your limelight to get my thing going. So
we're actually working off each other. This is
I like it. It's good.
This is like a nice push and pull here.
I don't want to keep you too long, because I know you were at the studio all day, but... dude, I'm so grateful you said yes.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
You know what? I shot my shot with you, and you could have easily said no. And you didn't, and I'll always forever be grateful for what you did. And God forbid if I make it, because I'm gonna somehow. No, I'm probably not. I'm probably gonna hang myself eventually. But
with that attitude.
But again, I appreciate all your time, and it's been a lot of fun. And I look forward to when you get back live. I will buy your first fucking ticket.
Yeah, man. Well, maybe when we get this record done, we'll send you a little sneak peek.
I would love that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Glad to be here.